Welcome to ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy. Marvel Studios' San Diego Comic-Con panel just gave us the full lineup for Phase 5 of the MCU. But that's not all, we also got a glimpse at Phase 6. Now Phase 6 has 11 slots for upcoming movies and shows, but they only revealed 3. Fantastic Four and Avengers 5 and 6. So this has us wondering what movies and series are going to fill those 8 empty slots. Well, we have a few theories that we're going to run down for you. First up, the X-Men. We think it's really safe to say that the X-Men are going to have a key role to play in Avengers the Kang Dynasty and definitely in Avengers Secret Wars. Which means that prior to those films, we think we'll be getting our very first MCU X-Men film or maybe even a Disney Plus series. After all, it was the Disney Plus series Ms. Marvel that gave us our first confirmation of the existence of mutants in Universe 616.
Kamala, there's something different in your genes, like a mutation.
Now, I make that specification because we did see Patrick Stewart's Professor X in Multiverse of Madness, but that was in Universe 838.
Our universe is 838, and we've designated yours 616.
And then, of course, we saw Evan Peters' Quicksilver in WandaVision, but he turned out to be...
Ralph Boner?
Boner.
Now, I would love to see an X-Men film that gives us a deeper understanding of mutants in the MCU. Rumor has it this X-Men movie will actually be titled The Mutants.
Whoa. Here I come. Oh, here I come.
Oh, there's no time left to talk about mutants and how mutants.
So Spider-Man No Way Home had success bringing back classic pre-MCU Marvel actors. I would love to see a film that features more experienced mutants from another universe, such as the Fox X-Men universe.
Go f yourself. Or
a group of angry X-Men from the 838 universe who are seeking to avenge the death of Professor Charles Xavier. And the way they get into this 616 universe is because an incursion has begun.
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both entirely.
You caused an incursion, and we're gonna fix it.
Now, if we're going to talk about mutants, we can't forget the Merc with a mouth.
Any tips on getting into the MCU there, Korg?
Check your emails. Maybe you'll get something from your agent saying Marvel wants to talk.
We know Deadpool 3 is coming, and despite its R rating, it will still be considered part of the MCU lineup. And we think it's all but certain that Deadpool is going to show up in Avengers Secret Wars.
My name is Deadpool, and I'm an X-Men.
Trainee!
Shut it!
Now with Deadpool 1 and 2 on Disney Plus, it makes us wonder if we can see an X-Force series on Disney Plus.
From now on, we'll be known as X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
I don't recall asking your opinion, Peter.
That wasn't me.
And with more and more adult and even R-rated content showing up on Disney Plus, maybe we can even see the continuation of more of Netflix's Marvel shows. Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and The Punisher are now all streaming on Disney Plus, and Daredevil is continuing in Phase 5 with Daredevil Born Again. So maybe some of those Phase 6 slots could include new seasons of Punisher, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and more. Next up, we've got Armor Wars, a series starring Don Cheadle's War Machine.
Yes! Now this is gonna be a good story.
Now this series was announced in December 2020 at D23, so when it wasn't a part or even mentioned as part of Phase 5 or 6, it had many fans wondering.
Ah, Jesus! What the hell's going on? I mean, what the hell is going on?
So we can say with great certainty that Armor Wars will be announced at this year's D23 as part of Phase 6.
Boom, you looking for this?
Now, Wakanda Forever is going to be closing out Phase 4. In the trailer released at Comic-Con, we got our first look at the MCU's Namor the Submariner. Namor is essentially Marvel's Aquaman.
Do you talk to fish?
But besides the fact they're both kings of Atlantis who live under the ocean, the similarities end there. Namor is actually more of an anti-hero. Sometimes he's a bad guy, sometimes he's a good guy. So, a Namor Phase 6 movie would be a great addition to this lineup. Now, speaking of Wakanda Forever, Denai Guerrero is confirmed to be starring as Okoye in her very own Disney Plus series.
Why was she up there all this time?
Not much is known about the plot of that series, but Wakanda Forever's director Ryan Coogler is reportedly producing it. Now Phase 5 will be closing out with the long-awaited Thunderbolts movie, a group of anti-heroes founded by Thunderbolt Ross. Baron Zemo will definitely be part of this Thunderbolts team. And Zemo is closely tied to the origins of the character Wonder Man. Shang-Chi director Destin Daniel Cretton, who was just announced as the director of Avengers the Kang Dynasty. He is reported to also be developing a Wonder Man Disney Plus series. Now, Wonder Man started out as a supervillain, but was later reformed and became a hero. So we may see his character introduced in the Thunderbolts movie or be recruited by the Thunderbolts in his Disney Plus series. I would love to see a Wonder Man title, because one thing that makes him unusual is that he's not only an Avenger, but he's also a movie star. So imagine having a movie star superhero in your movie that's about a movie star superhero.
What?
This would give Marvel Studios lots of opportunities for in-jokes about Hollywood and how their own studio is structured.
Fans spoke with those release the board cut hashtags, you guys, I love you.
Another title rumored to be in the works is World War Hulk, a story that Thor Ragnarok borrowed from by having Hulk in space as a gladiator.
What are you doing? It's me.
So World War Hulk followed the story Planet Hulk, where Hulk was a gladiator and led a rebellion against the government. Then he journeyed back to Earth with his new gladiator army to take revenge on the Illuminati for sending him into space to begin with. So this would actually be the MCU's first Hulk film since The Incredible Hulk, way back in Phase 1. That film is distributed by Universal, and they still hold the rights to the distribution of any and all Hulk-titled movies. But Marvel Studios has the exclusive right to make Hulk movies and can include him as a supporting character in their films. If you look on Disney Plus, you'll see that just like the Spider-Man films, the MCU's Incredible Hulk is not even on the streaming service. The reason Marvel's able to make She-Hulk is likely because Marvel owns the rights to distribute Hulk-titled television shows. So if Universal, Marvel Studios, and Disney work out a deal, then maybe we could see this project happen. But with the Hulk now being Professor Hulk, he has full control over the beast and is even training his cousin to do the same.
Being a Hulk asks for balance.
But it would be really cool to see him become compromised, lose control, and go full Rage Hulk.
I'm sorry.
Resulting in him being sent off planet. But I personally feel like that's a storyline they should save for after the Multiverse Saga. Next we have the Young Avengers. That's Kate Bishop, America Chavez, Kamala Khan, Elijah Bradley, Cassie Lang, Riri Williams, and Tommy and Billy's Wiccan and Speed all teaming up to kick names and take ass. We think this Young Avengers film or series is certain to be part of the Phase 6 lineup, and it may even feature the return of Vision.
Naturally.
In the comics, the Young Avengers were formed by the Vision when a protocol kicked in to form a new team when the Avengers were disassembled. So White Vision may be following his original protocol to be a suit of armor around the world.
I see a suit of armor around the world.
Vision's mission is to protect the planet, so I could see White Vision taking it upon himself to form a team of new heroes to help him out. So in the comics, the Young Avengers have traveled through time and different universes, and they've even come toe-to-toe with Kang the Conqueror. A prominent member of the Young Avengers is Nathaniel Richards Iron Lad, a character who turned out to be a younger variant of Kang. So maybe in the MCU, we'll see Riri Williams Ironheart take the place of Iron Lad. Maybe we'll see her learn that she's a variant of Kang. I mean, she's brilliant and works in Wakanda's science lab. So perhaps in her future, she too discovers stacked universes.
A variant of myself lived on Earth. He was a scientist, and he discovered that there were universes stacked on top of his own.
After all, the Loki series showed us that variants can be different sexes across the multiverse. In Phase 5 of the MCU, we'll be seeing Will Poulter's debut as Adam Warlock.
I seen a rainbow yesterday, but too many storms have come and gone, leaving a trace of not what God given me.
In the comics, Adam Warlock is a major player. He's even used the Infinity Gauntlet. So we wouldn't be surprised if Phase 6 gives us a Disney Plus series simply titled Warlock that would give us his origin story. After all, he was first teased in the post-credits scene of Guardians 2, which took place around 2014-2015.
I think I shall call him Adam.
But Guardians 3 takes place after Endgame, which takes place in 2023. That's an 8 to 9 year passage of time. So a series detailing how Adam Warlock came to be would be really fun to see. And while we're on the topic of cosmic heroes, let's talk about Nova. Fans have been clamoring for a Nova film since the introduction of the Nova Corps in Guardians of the Galaxy.
By the authority of the Nova Corps, you are under arrest.
Hey, that isn't Star Prince.
So in the comics, Nova is a high school kid named Richard Rider. After the destruction of the Nova Corps, an army of intergalactic peacekeepers, Richard Rider then becomes the sole surviving member of the Nova Corps. In Infinity War, we learned that Thanos destroyed Xandar, that's Nova's home, in his quest for the Power Stone.
Thanos already has the Power Stone because he stole it last week He decimated Xandar.
Many have speculated that we'll get to see those events transpire in a Nova film, and that massacre will be a pivotal moment in Nova's origin story.
But what about sequels? We're gonna get Spider-Man 4 or Shang-Chi 2?
Good question, yes. Films such as Spider-Man 4 and Shang-Chi 2 have been confirmed. Now, while Spider-Man 4 will be part of the Multiverse Saga and is definitely a shoo-in for Phase 6, it's still a Sony film, which means that it will likely first be announced by them at an event like CinemaCon. Shang-Chi will definitely be playing a role in the upcoming Avengers films, so its sequel is for sure going to be part of Phase 6, and it's likely to be announced at D23. Now, as for sequels for other heavy hitters like Doctor Strange or Thor, I just don't think there's time. I mean, Taika Waititi is about to make a Star Wars film. Those are pretty time intensive. He's not going to be able to squeeze in a Thor movie before 2025. But I do think we'll see Doctor Strange and Thor in other films prior to Avengers 5 and 6. And they're going to both be playing major roles in those two films.
He's a friend from work.
So with Phase 4 introducing more mystical characters such as Moon Knight, Dane Whitman, and Agatha Harkness, and with Phase 5 introducing characters like Blade, we think Marvel may be setting up an eventual Midnight Sun show or movie.
And as you start to see, you talk about Ghost Rider, we've got Blade, we've got Doctor Strange, we've got the supernatural angles.
Now Moon Knight isn't getting a season 2, but we know he's going to be back. So the question is, where? I think Midnight Suns may be our answer.
How's this whole new arrangement going to work then?
Stephen Grant, I was not speaking to you.
And if they do that, we better get Ghost Rider. There's even rumors right now that Ryan Gosling is clamoring to play the role of Ghost Rider in the MCU, and that Kevin Feige is down to cast him.
Ryan wants to be Ghost Rider. What else? Who else?
Hey, I noticed that 2 of the release dates are in between Avengers 5 and 6, and Avengers 5 and 6 are only 6 months apart. So what's going to happen between those 2 big movies?
That's right, there are 2 projects releasing in between the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, but that doesn't necessarily mean they'll take place between those 2 movies chronologically. Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame came out a year apart, and Avengers Endgame picked up right where Infinity War left off. But Ant-Man and the Wasp as well as Captain Marvel released between the 2 Avengers movies. Captain Marvel, of course, was a period piece that took place prior to even the first Iron Man. And while Ant-Man and the Wasp wasn't a period piece, it took place right before the events of Infinity War.
Hank, quit screwing around. You told me yourself not to screw around. Hank! Hope? Janet!
So, my guess is that one of these projects will be a Disney Plus series and the other is going to be a movie. And I think they'll take place before the events of the Kang Dynasty and end with the events of that film just starting to happen.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
But another option is that we could see some films that don't even take place in the 616 universe. Maybe we'll get something right out of left field, like a more comic accurate Old Man Logan.
Go yourself.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Logan was an absolute masterpiece, but it was very different from its comic book counterpart. Old Man Logan is an Elseworlds comic series following an elderly Wolverine. In this universe, the world has been conquered by supervillains such as Abomination, Magneto, Kingpin, Doctor Doom, and the Red Skull. Logan lives in an area ruled by the Hulks. That's a criminal gang of the incestuous grandchildren of Hulk and his cousin She-Hulk.
He doesn't mean that.
I mean, what the hell is going on?
And that series also features a blind Clint Barton, aka Hawkeye. So there's lots of cool variations we can see of these characters that we thought we knew, but now we get to meet them again through their multiversal variants. And maybe we could see a series or movie following Steve Rogers' Captain America as he returns the Infinity Stones to their rightful place in time, like he set out to do at the end of Avengers Endgame.
You bet.
And at the end of the series or movie, we could see Cap entering the arena for Secret Wars.
Assemble.
And when he meets Sam Wilson as the new Captain America, he'll know that in the future he succeeds in returning to the 616 universe to give Sam Wilson his shield.
That's confusing.
Tell me about it. So, what movies and series do you want to see in Phase 6? Let me know in the comments below, or you can @ me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.